Okay, in this video I want to start an actual scrapbook page using the stuff that you've learned, because really you can actually scrapbook now knowing what you've learned. So first I'm just going to go into my Photoshop and start my page. I'm doing the US paper 8.5 by 11. I do the control minus so I can see, kind of what I've got. I'm going to go into my lilac garden. This is the kit I'm using. This is from Peppermint Creative. It was a free kit at one point. I'm just going to pull in the page I want as my background. Remember to pull it out and then pull it back in if you have CS4. Okay, so now it's my background, and you can see I've got the blank layer I started with and now my new layer. And then I'm going to go into my pictures, and I'm just going to pick which pictures I want, and I'm just going to I've already scrapbooked this in reality, but okay, so I'm going to pull these two in. And again, remember, if you are in CS4, you need to float all on Windows. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this picture. First I'm going to crop it. Again, crop it before you pull it into your page. I'm going to crop it to the size I want. Okay, remember that if you want, you can just say, oh, I want it to be 5 by 5. I want them all to be proportioned the same. And you can do that so that all your pictures are the same size. In this particular case, I don't need to do that, but I wanted to point that out. So I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do Control M, which allows me to change the coloring. I usually kind of lighten it up here, darken it a little bit there, click OK, and now I go back to my select tool because I want to pull it in to my document. Okay, so there's that one. I close it, and now I'm going to do this one of my cute little girl, crop it, Control M, lighten it. Now let's say I wanted to make this one black and white. Control Shift U, okay? Or you can just go to Image, Adjustments, Hue, Saturation, and I can slowly desaturate it. So I just want to take some of the color out. If I go all the way, I'm going to get black and white. So let's just leave it like right there. And then when I do my Control M, it might change my idea a little bit, what I want to do. Okay? So now I'm going to take that, move that in. Okay, now my big problem is that these pictures are too big, so I'm going to make sure I've got the right layer selected, do Control T, and drag it to the size I want it to be. And the same with this one, drag it to the size that I want it to be. Look how close we are. Note also, you can also, when you have that Control T, right here lets you change the size. But if you go a little bit further, you get this arrow, and you can kind of skew it, just turn it a little bit. Okay, I like to do that. I think it looks really nice when you do that. Now let's say that as I'm going in here I find a ribbon that I want to use, but it's not quite the color that I want. Okay, so I pull it. This is actually not really a ribbon, but anyway, I pull this in and I want it to be a different shade. So that's when I'm going to go to this Image, Adjustments, Hue and Saturation. We've already been here once. Control U will get you there. And I can change the hue. I guess you can't see that too well, but anyway, you can also click on Colorize, which gives you a little more choice in how you want it to look. You can change the saturation if you want it brighter or darker. So that's a great way to change the color of something if you want it to be a different color. Also notice my history bar right here. I talked about that at the end. I can just grab this little thing right here and go back, and it takes me back to where I started. So if there's something you did that you don't like, but it's, Control Z will only take you back one step. This will take you back several. So that's how the history bar works.